In a society where appearances often dominate perceptions, the idea of looking poor can seem counterintuitive, especially in an era defined by Instagram flexing, luxury branding, and social comparison. But what if the key to long-term wealth, independence, and peace of mind actually lies in resisting the urge to look rich? What if appearing modest or even poor is a secret superpower? In truth, many of the world's most successful people, especially those with real, lasting wealth, don't wear their success. They drive ordinary cars, live in modest homes, and often go unnoticed in a crowd. That's not an accident. Looking poor, or simply not flaunting wealth, can provide practical, emotional, and financial advantages that few recognize. In this video, we'll dive deep into why looking poor is not only important, but potentially transformative, especially in a world obsessed with looking rich. Looking rich often leads to being poor. Let's start with the harsh truth. A large number of people who look rich are not actually rich. They're financing their lifestyle with debt, credit cards, car loans, and zero-down financing. The flashy car, designer outfit, or luxury vacation is often paid for with money they don't really have. In contrast, many people who look poor are quietly building wealth. They drive used cars, wear unbranded clothes, and don't chase trends. Instead of trying to impress others, they focus on investing, saving, and acquiring assets. The bottom line, looking rich is often a financial liability. Looking poor, on the other hand, frees you from the pressure of appearances and allows your money to grow behind the scenes. The freedom to say no. When you look poor or modest, you automatically lower people's expectations of your lifestyle. This creates freedom. You can say no to expensive outings, overpriced dinners, or luxury vacations without judgment because people don't assume you can afford them in the first place. Compare that to someone who always shows up in designer clothes and drives a luxury vehicle. If they suddenly say, "I can't afford it," people will raise eyebrows. The pressure to maintain appearances is a financial trap. Looking poor grants you permission to make smart financial choices without guilt or embarrassment. Wealth is what you don't see. One of the most powerful financial principles is this: true wealth is invisible. Wealth is the money you didn't spend. It's the savings in your high-yield account, the investments compounding in your brokerage, the real estate generating cash flow, the skills you've cultivated that can earn income for life. Social media has blurred this line. People assume luxury equals success, but often the loudest lifestyles belong to the most financially fragile people. Meanwhile, millionaires next door are quietly living in paid-off homes, driving Toyotas, and wearing $20 zero-cent t-shirts. Looking poor, or at least not flaunting wealth, helps you build the kind of wealth that matters: sustainable, compounding, and life-changing. The stealth wealth advantage. There's a growing movement called stealth wealth, the art of having money without advertising it. Stealth wealth means nobody knows what's in your bank account unless you tell them. You blend in, you avoid unnecessary attention, requests for handouts, or manipulative relationships. Looking poor is one way to practice stealth wealth. If you don't appear wealthy, you avoid being a target. This is especially important in business or negotiations. If a client thinks you're wealthy, they may overcharge you. If an employee sees your flashy lifestyle, they may demand more pay. If family thinks you're doing well, they may ask for money. By appearing modest, you maintain control over how others perceive and treat you. This builds character and grit. Looking poor, intentionally or not, can teach powerful lessons. When you're not trying to impress others, you start making decisions based on your own values, not external validation. This fosters resilience, humility, and discipline. You begin to focus on what matters: meaningful work, long-term goals, strong relationships, and personal development. You're less likely to chase quick dopamine hits from shopping or social media approval. That's a massive advantage in a world addicted to consumerism. Warren Buffett once said, "If you buy things you don't need, soon you'll have to sell things you do need." Looking poor helps you avoid that trap. It teaches you how to live beneath your means, a vital habit for building real success. You stay underrated, and that's a good thing. When you look poor, people underestimate you. That might sound negative, but it's actually a secret weapon. When expectations are low, any progress you make becomes more impressive. You avoid jealousy, envy, and sabotage because people don't see you as a threat. In business, being underrated can give you the element of surprise. Competitors don't see you coming, investors don't think you're flashy or risky. You attract less noise and more meaningful opportunities. Looking rich often invites comparison and resentment. Looking poor invites peace and focus. It forces you to build real wealth, not just appearances. There's a huge difference between displaying wealth and building wealth. When you stop focusing on how rich you look, you start focusing on how rich you are. That means making decisions that grow your net worth. Saving aggressively, investing consistently, developing high-value skills, building businesses, and avoiding debt. Looking poor reminds you to stay grounded. You realize that wealth isn't about impressing strangers. It's about freedom, choices, security, and legacy. It's what allows you to take a year off, retire early, care for your family, or give generously without stress. You escape the trap of lifestyle inflation. One of the most common reasons people stay broke, even after increasing their income, is lifestyle inflation. They make more money, so they spend more. Their expenses rise with their income, and they never get ahead. They're trapped in the same cycle, just with nicer things. Looking poor, by choice, helps you escape this trap. It allows you to earn more without upgrading your life at every turn. That gap between your income and your expenses becomes your wealth-building engine. Live like you're broke even when you're rich, and you'll stay rich forever. You become a better investor. When you're not caught up in appearances, you have more capital and emotional discipline to become a better investor. You're not chasing get-rich-quick schemes to fund your lifestyle. You're patient. You can invest long-term in stocks, real estate, or businesses without pulling out your money at the first dip. Looking poor frees up your cash flow and your focus. It keeps you from reacting emotionally. That's what separates amateur investors from wealth builders. In short, looking poor isn't about scarcity, it's about abundance with discipline. The psychology of money favors the humble. Morgan Housel, in his best-selling book, The Psychology of Money, explains that financial success is more about behavior than knowledge. The ability to delay gratification, resist ego, and think long-term matters far more than knowing complex math or investing theory. Looking poor trains your mindset. It helps you resist the urge to signal wealth, which is one of the strongest predictors of financial downfall. It builds the very traits that lead to financial independence: frugality, emotional control, and clarity of purpose. And ironically, once you no longer feel the need to look rich, you're already wealthier than most. So that's it today. If you like this video, then please hit the like and subscribe button for more videos. Thanks for watching.